popcorn.
Yeah, get your popcorn because we're going to start with a movie, and we're going to start with this. Ready to go?
The ancient physician Hippocrates once said, "All disease begins in the gut." And while that might not be entirely true, many of today's most common health problems do start in your stomach, including autoimmune conditions, mental health disorders, poor immune health, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, skin conditions, weight gain and obesity, acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea, and asthma. And if you're one of the millions of people living with these issues, toxins and parasites might be to blame. It's common knowledge that poisonous toxins are everywhere, and when they build up in your body, they can cause a variety of problems, including diarrhea, sneezing, coughing, excessive urination, runny nose, lung congestion, and vomiting. Toxins are found in water you drink and the air you breathe. They can often be found in the food you eat, especially non-organic produce that has been treated with pesticides, and they can even enter your body through your skin when you use skincare products that contain toxic ingredients. Parasites are not as common as toxins, but they are more prevalent than you might think. Studies suggest that up to 43% of North Americans could be living with intestinal parasites right now. And if you're living with abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, gas, bloating, and fatigue, you might be one of the statistics. And you don't have to travel to a foreign country or eat unusual foods to become infected with parasites. In fact, the 4 most common ways to get a parasite are all around you. It can happen when you 1. Consume contaminated water, including contact with water in swimming pools. 2. Eat contaminated food. Undercooked fish, crabs, and mollusks are some of the most common foodborne parasite sources, as is food prepared in facilities with poor sanitary practices. 3. Are exposed to insects, especially ticks. Ticks don't just spread Lyme disease, they can also infect you with babesiosis, a parasite that infects red blood cells and can cause anemia. And 4. Through exposure to animals and pets. And when toxins and parasites enter your body, poor health is sure to follow. But what can you do? Nutritionists and doctors agree that starting with a cleanse is paramount and your best first defense. Look, your body has several organs that help to detoxify your systems. But because of the sheer number of the toxins and parasites we come into contact with on a daily basis, these organs can be overwhelmed. When you cleanse, you give them a fighting chance. And the best cleanse product available today? Unicity Cleanse. Unicity Cleanse is a time-tested, effective, all-natural product recommended by health practitioners all over the world. Think of it as getting an oil change for your body. Unicity Cleanse contains all-natural cleansing and digestive health products to neutralize and dislodge toxins, waste, and parasites and remove them from your body. The system also includes 3 additional amazing products: Unicity Life Fiber, Heroin Plus, and either Nature's Tea or Aloe Vera. Together, the system acts like a gentle brush, cleansing your entire digestive system and restoring well-being. So if you've been living with stomach and digestive issues, toxins and parasites could be the cause. In fact, most experts agree that you should do a cleanse every 3 to 4 months. So if you haven't cleansed recently, we strongly encourage you start your journey with our time-tested, proven Unicity Cleanse. Ask the person who shared this information with you how to start an easy, effective Unicity Cleanse today.
Okay, that was delightful. Not exactly what you want to be watching either before or after dinner, but it's important that you understand, as people in health promotion, health coaches, personal trainers, it's important that you understand that we are focused on targeted nutrition. And the topic for this conversation in this training is going to be out with the bad and in with the good. And so I want to start with helping you guys know that we don't necessarily, oh, I got to go back again. This happens to me every time. There we go. We don't necessarily focus just on weight loss. You know, people have different reasons that they come to our company. GetFit21 solves a lot of problems. And so when we work with people that are in healthcare who focus on gastroenterology, which is obviously digestive health, cardiovascular health, obesity, whatever the specialty of that coach or healthcare professional is, we can solve a lot of those problems with just our core products. Many of you have come to work with us because of your affection for GetFit21, the concept of a 21-day curriculum that can be done again and again and again and again until the person reaches their goal. The repetition, which instills in their head the new lifestyle changes that they need to adhere to. Yet, we also have variations of GetFit21 that I want you to be aware of, because a lot of people maybe don't need to lose weight. Maybe their cholesterol's fine, their blood sugar's fine, their cholesterol, everything is in perfect check. But what a lot of the coaches that I've worked with have said over the last few years, they really do prefer to start their clients with a cleanse. They prefer that because they believe that by cleansing the system of a person who's making dramatic changes in their lifestyle habits, they will better be able to assimilate the nutrients from the various new types of foods that they're going to be learning to eat from all of the coaching. And so if you begin to feed people with healthier foods and better nutrition and great supplementation, what good is it if the body can't assimilate all that good nutrition from what it is that their body's being provided? Why wouldn't they be able to assimilate those nutrients? Because the body is just simply clogged up. That's a belief of a lot of healthcare providers, coaches, and I wanted to share with you just another way of thinking as you realize how the Prime Health Pack is profound, not just in helping people lose weight, lower cholesterol, lower blood pressure, normalize blood sugar, but how it can really have this effect on including the cleanse as part of the concept. It's not something that we frequently discuss with new coaches, but we think it's time because we're beginning to get asked more and more about it. This is a 3-step system: cleanse, balance, build. And then we like to say restore, but we also reference it as hydration. And we know that hydration is so important when people are going through lifestyle changes. And so that's the reason that the group that is working in focusing with this type of GetFit21 strategy, they're doing it just as you see. 1, 2, 3 with a bonus step. Now, I want to ask Barbara to come on the screen, and for Barb, if you don't mind starting to share the importance of what you've learned. You know, you can share for a moment about your credentials, because a lot of people that are on the call with us don't know you. So if you don't mind doing that, I think that would be great.
So I am a certified personal trainer and an integrative nutrition health coach. And I've been working in the healthcare industry for about 27 years. And in the last decade, I became certified through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition as a health coach. And I know that there are a number of coaches in our group, in our GetFit21 team, who also went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition or to another health coach school. If you were enrolled in IIN, Institute for Integrative Nutrition, you probably received this email today like I did. I got this today, and it was ironic because I knew I was going to talk about gut health today, and this showed up. And for those of you who are following health coaching curriculums, you know that gut health is all the rage right now. People are talking about gut health with a lot of intensity, and they're talking about the microbiome, which are all the genetic material in our body that comes from microbes and bacteria and protozoa and various viruses. And they say that we have 200 times more genetic material coming from all these microbes and things, this microbiome, than we have in our own genetic infrastructure. They say that our microbiome itself, it's not just in our gut, but it's all over our body. It's all that bacteria that can be very helpful in many cases to our health. It helps with our immune system. There's been a lot of education of health coaches in the recent years about how the gut and the brain are connected, how there's a deep connection between what goes on in the health of our gut and how it affects our mental health, our physical health, our emotional health. So we thought it would be perfect to focus on this in order to make 2021 your happiest and your healthiest year, that we would focus on gut health. And what I think is so interesting is that this concept of gut health, we have thought is like a new thing. It's really just in the last few years that people have been talking about it. But Jan, if you'll go to the next slide, I want you to know that Unicity Cleanse has been part of Unicity's program for 19 years. They have been ahead of this curve. They are scientifically always researching and developing products and bringing them to market before they become trendy. So this program has been around a long time, and I have a long history with it. And I want to teach you tonight about the Unicity Cleanse program, how to use it, how to identify who might need it, and I want to share my own very dramatic personal story about it with you. So it contains 3 products, as you heard. The first product is unique. It's called Paraway Plus. You can see that it's a blend of 15 patented herbs. And what is interesting about the approach of this particular product is it's going to help you get rid of unwanted organisms, parasites particularly. And how does it do it? Does it kill them? Well, not exactly. The ingredients in this formula have been around for centuries. Every medicine man from ancient cultures has been using these ingredients in time-tested ways to help people cure illness. And around the world, these ingredients are known. What does it actually do? It actually puts to sleep parasites and causes them to relax their grip on the inside of your digestive tract. So why do you want them to not die inside you? Because you want to make sure that they're released so that when you sweep them out, they leave. They've relaxed their grip. They're not embedded in your digestive tract. So how do you take this? This is a 30-day program. You wake up in the morning and you take 2 capsules first thing in the morning for the first 10 days. The last 20 days, you're going to take 5 capsules. It gets a little bit stronger. So you start off slowly and then you increase. And once this is in your system for 30 minutes, go to the next slide, Jan. Then you are going to drink Life Fiber. Life Fiber is a unique fiber blend that is both soluble and insoluble fiber. It is psyllium based, but it has 29 different herbs. And this fiber acts like a broom. It actually sweeps out the bad bacteria and parasites and toxins. And that is the cleansing mechanism that takes place. But what I have come to appreciate about this product is the prebiotic fiber in it helps to feed the probiotic bacteria in your system. Everybody knows the word probiotic. In fact, I did a lecture on our probiotic called Probionic the other day. I don't know if my picture's up, but this is a picture of Probionic. We talked about that. We talked about how we need to balance out the bacteria in our gut. We want to have more friendly bacteria and get rid of the bad bacteria. But how do you make that good bacteria grow? Well, you have to eat foods that feed that good bacteria. And that's called prebiotics. So what are some of those foods? Dandelion greens, mustard greens, Jerusalem artichokes. These are not things that people are necessarily used to eating every day. Asparagus. There are particular foods that are high prebiotic foods. So I love the fact that this product feeds your healthy bacteria. So how do you take it? You mix 1 scoop of it with water, or you can put it into your morning protein shake. Then, look, you went too far. There you go. Then in the evening,
I figured I'd throw you off your game to show everybody how quickly you get right back on.
So in the evening, before you go to bed or after your evening meal, you're going to have a choice of either aloe vera capsule or a nature's tea. These both have a laxative effect. So the nature's tea, you can just dip it in water quickly when you first start because you don't want it to be too strong. Or as you get more used to the program, you can leave it in. It's a really sweet, delicious tea. Or you can take aloe vera. When I do this program, I tend to take aloe vera. And I find that sometimes I don't take it every night. Sometimes I take it every other night because it can become too much sometimes of a laxative experience. So I want to talk now about, let's go to the next slide for a minute, because I want to tell a story. If you look at this statistic that the American College of Gastroenterology says that chronic constipation affects over 45 million adults in the United States. Why are so many people constipated? Well, number one, they're eating processed foods. They are not getting enough fiber in their diet. Number two, they're not exercising. You don't move, you slow down the transit time of the food that enters your body. People are not eating enough vegetables, enough natural fibrous foods. People are stressed, and when you're stressed, you clamp down on your whole digestive tract and you don't poop. People are underhydrated. You don't have enough water, you don't go. I worked in a medical practice for 10 years as a nutrition and exercise counselor, and I hired 2 other personal trainers, health coaches to work alongside me. I was the lead coach in that practice, and they used to sit and listen to me on the phone when I would talk to our clients, and I would start to ask them about their poop. And these colleagues of mine would fall on the floor laughing because I would say, so what does it look like? And is it hard to go? And they were like laughing hysterically. They couldn't believe that I was asking all these questions. But this is important because what's coming out of you determines what's really going on inside of you. And I'm going to tell you a brief story now about a woman I know who is my mother. She's 94 years old. And about 15 years ago, she was having a really continuous bout of IBS, really bad gastrointestinal issues, diarrhea, then constipation, really miserable. And it got worse and worse and worse. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor did a blood test. And the blood test showed high eosinophils. Now, high eosinophils can be either cancer or parasites. That's what the indication is. And they said to my mother, oh my goodness, we need to do a scan. We need to do more tests. And they basically told her that she had liver cancer. And they gave her some medication to try to make her feel better. She didn't feel better. She went to 3 different hospitals. She ended up at Massachusetts General, where an infectious disease specialist who specialized in tropical diseases met with her. And she said, I'm going to scope you. She put a scope down her throat and down into her liver to see what was going on, because her liver was not functioning. And in the duct of her liver, in her bile duct, was a parasite that was stuck there. It looked like a small flounder called a liver fluke. And this doctor was amazed, because this is something you see in Africa. You don't see this in the United States, she thought. Why did my mother have this liver fluke, this small flounder stuck inside her liver bile duct? She spent a lot of time talking to my mother about what my mother ate. My mother eats like the way I was taught to eat, lots of greens. My mother loves watercress. If anyone knows how watercress grows, it grows in streams, running water. And there is a parasite that can end up landing on that watercress. And how does it get there? Well, imagine a hill next to the stream, and there's cows on that hill grazing, and those cows poop, and that poop washes in to the stream, and that stream takes that poop, and the parasites in that were in that cow's digestive tract, and they lay eggs on the watercress. And my mother, who knows she's eating healthy and buying fresh greens at the market, will stand in the market and break off a piece of the watercress and taste it. Oh, is it fresh? Is it good? And she will eat it unwashed. And the doctor figured out that is how she wound up with this. So what's this moral of the story? Well, there's part of it is the first part of the story, how she got it. So you want to wash your vegetables really well. Not just lightly. You want to rinse them and rinse them and rinse them. We want you to eat lots of vegetables, not be afraid of vegetables, but you need to just rinse them off. That's the first moral to the story. The second moral to the story is this doctor said, we see parasites in the population more than you can believe, but this was an unusual one. So my mother needed to have a special procedure where they literally went down her throat and, like a fishing hook, grabbed this liver fluke that looked like a tiny flounder and put it in a basket and pull it out. And then she needed to have a stent put in her bile duct so her bile duct wouldn't collapse. And that was the beginning of my mother understanding why she had had these IBS symptoms for years. She must have been growing these parasites for years inside her. So after this doctor removed this parasite from my mother's liver, I called her and I said, I want to send you the ingredients of a cleanse system that I've been exposed to, and I want your opinion on it. I trust this woman. And she looked at the ingredients. And she called me back, and on the phone with me, she said to me, this is so interesting. I have traveled the world studying tropical diseases and all kinds of parasitic infestations. And these ingredients are what all these ancient cultures have tried to use to remove parasites. I endorse these products. She said those words to me. This is a world-class infectious disease doctor. And so now I'm going to tell you that after my mother healed and everything was better, she still had some IBS symptoms. And I said to my mother, I'm going to give you Life Fiber. I'm going to have you take that. And my mother takes it every single day for the last, it's about 15 years. And today I was on the phone with her and I told her I was doing a talk on this topic. And, you know, she's 94 years old. And I said, I'm going to talk about how you had IBS. She says, I don't have IBS. I don't have any problems. I said, of course you don't, because you're taking Life Fiber. So I wanted to share with you that personal interaction I had with this product, with a world-renowned doctor, and how I can't keep this a secret from people. Because whether you have parasites or not, I mean, if you eat sushi or if you have a pet, you have parasites. It makes sense for you to be proactive at least once or twice a year and to do this Unicity cleanse. Because if your system is working well, you are able to absorb the nutrients of all the good food you're eating, you're going to be healthier and you're going to be mentally better and physically better. And I know that one of the first things I see when I take this is my skin clears up, I have more energy, I drop pounds. The average American is carrying anywhere between 5 and 25 pounds of dried fecal matter in their digestive tract. That is a quote from the American College of Gastroenterology. That's how much constipation affects our country. So I am saying, let's start this new year clean. Let's get the poop out. And Jan, is that gory enough?
That was pretty graphic. I remember when your mom was sick like that, and that was unbelievable. I remember you didn't know what was wrong with her. It was scary. So I think it's really cute the way she says, I don't have that anymore. See how they forget when they feel good?
Exactly.
Right? So, you know, it's really interesting because we're talking about this, Barb, and we're talking about it where, you know, we know that it's good for clients, but we also know that you can't teach what you don't know and you can't come back from where you ain't been. And that's the reason we're inspiring the coaches, all of you, to get a cleanse on yourself. I speak to so many coaches who say to me, you know, I'm in good health. I eat clean. I don't need this. Barbara, what's your response to that as a coach? What would your feedback be?
So I too eat very clean. I too, especially because I eat clean. I eat a ton of vegetables. And I know that there are microorganisms on vegetables. And even if I'm eating clean, if I'm not careful washing, or if I bite into a piece of fruit that might have an organism on it, or if I'm going to roll on the grass with Jan's dog or my dog that I used to have, or if I'm going to eat sushi, which I do like to eat, I am going to risk having parasites. And I don't want to. I want to do everything I can to avoid carrying a parasite in me, because, you know, it starts out and it's not going to make a big difference. You start to get a little parasite. You're not going to feel it for a while, but it lays eggs and it grows and there's more and more, and it proliferates in your digestive tract. And that headache that comes from nowhere, or the pimples that you're getting out of nowhere, where'd that come from? You know, or, you know, suddenly you're bloated and, you know, I eat healthy. It could be parasites. So there are a couple questions. Do you recommend aloe vera be taken daily or every other day? I recommend when people start the program that they begin to take it every day with an awareness of how they feel personally. For me, I can take it every day when I'm doing the cleanse for about 5 or 6 days, and then I have to go to every other day because I'm pooping too much. So Can you do this cleanse while on the challenge? Absolutely. That's a great question. In fact, I take Life Fiber every single morning in my shake when I'm doing the 21-day program. I always include it in my morning shake. And all it is taking the Paraway plus 30 minutes before you actually drink your shake. So if you're not going to drink your shake first thing, if you're going to go out and go for a run, don't take the Paraway. Take it as soon as you come back, get in the shower up, and then when you drink your shake, then that shake is the broom getting ready to brush the parasites out. Now, somebody asked, Stacy asked, so Paraway instead of Balance? No. Paraway is a capsule that you take before you take Life Fiber, 30 minutes before Life Fiber. So I do Balance. I do Fiber 3 times a day. I do Life Fiber in the morning. I do Balance before lunch and Balance before dinner. And I want to make a comment. Today I was talking to a coach who is a scientific researcher, and she's married to a brain surgeon, a neurosurgeon. And she said, my husband looked at what I was evaluating, and he looked at the research on our products, and he said, this company is very smart. Fiber is the single most important thing that you can do for longevity and health. That was his comment. And he encouraged her to participate in this program because he said, all these products have fiber in them. And I said, this is a smart guy. That's something I say. That's something Jan says. This guy knew it.
I always tell people in our company, the F word is a good word. It means fiber. And so, I think that this is something I'd like to see all of the coaches embrace, because if you think about it, price point wise, it's so affordable for clientele. I was going to talk about how some of the coaches are putting it at the beginning of their Get Fit program. I wanted to hear Barb's feedback, so I was going to talk about that, Barb, but you already did. You highly recommend that coaches step into the cleanse conversation with people prior to starting Get Fit or simultaneously?
So I have to say that when I'm bringing a brand new person into the program who I barely know, and I don't want to overwhelm them, if their number one issue is getting control of their blood sugar, I'm going to focus on the Prime Health Pack. I'm going to focus on Balance and Matcha, and I'm going to get to know them in this program. And then when they have success with that, because you can measure your blood sugar every single day and know that the program is working. When they see that improvement, now they have more belief in me. And when they start to lose weight and they're feeling good, and maybe they get to a little plateau and they're not losing weight, maybe that's when I'm going to say, it might be time to consider doing a cleanse. Mm-hmm. That will give your weight loss an incredible boost, because we're carrying so much crap in our system. And people are more confident. But then you have people that the very first thing they want to do is a cleanse. There are people that are cleanse-minded. So you have to listen to your client and hear what's important to them.
So I have a question, Barb. Suppose somebody's speaking with a client and that basically their interest is in what you said, blood sugar, cholesterol, weight loss. How would you position a question that would set the stage for bringing cleanse up later on? Maybe not in that moment, like you said, wait until they got some trust, but just to get a feeling for where their mindset is when it comes to this topic. How bowel movements, do you ever have problems with? Would that be the direction to go?
One of the things I would do is I would ask, how have their bowel habits changed since they've been in this program? And I'm going to hear from them. Some people will find that the balance they think is going to make them go to the bathroom so much, but it really doesn't. Their body kind of stabilizes. They might have, maybe they need to drink more water. Maybe that's why they're not going. But I will also say, have you ever done a cleanse? I just ask that question and I get quiet, because sometimes people say, yeah, I've tried the master cleanse, which is a fast. I've tried, weird, all types of weird things. And I said, well, you might be interested in considering this, because you don't have to fast with it. You don't have to set aside what you're doing in Get Fit 21 to do it. You can just add it. So I think that I haven't been recommending it as much as I should. And part of it is, I always recommend Life Fiber. I'm always talking about it. But the whole system, especially now at the first of the year for returning participants, I think it's something that I might suggest that they do. And it wouldn't hurt to mention it in one of the Get Fit 21 Zoom meetings as something to think about, or as somebody gets ready to do the next Get Fit 21. In between, this would be a good time to start it, that week in between, because I tend to do a week in between.
Something I want to bring up for the people that are getting exposed to this for the first time. A lot of people hear the word cleanse and they think, oh my God, I have the time when I'm going to do this because I don't want to be running to the bathroom all day long. The one consistent feedback about this product over all these years has been how comfortable this cleanse is, how it hasn't had that effect of sending somebody running to the bathroom. So that's a concern for a lot of people that cause them to be resistant. And it's important for you to know that that will not be the case. And so again, if you don't go through the cleanse, you won't know how to explain it. And the best education is to experience something yourself. Lastly, I want to say, I work with a gastroenterology group out of New Jersey, and they put hundreds of patients on cleanse. And they literally do it for 3 months in a row. And this is their philosophy. They think that the first month, they're cleaning out a lifetime of garbage that these people have been eating. And if they have any parasites, it's going to put the parasite to sleep. And that parasite that goes to sleep will have laid some eggs that get under the lining of the intestinal tract. And so when they start to use the Life Fiber and it's sweep, and this physician calls it kill, sweep, flush. That's where he says to them, you're going on a pack that's going to kill, sweep, and flush your system. It's going to do, and the 3 things that it does: kill the parasite, flush the system, and sweep it out and flush the system. But what their belief is, month 2 of doing it, they say will kill the eggs that the first month were laid, that the Life Fiber wasn't able to sweep off of the intestinal tract. And then they call the 3rd month the insurance policy. So this is just a philosophy of a gastro group that I've been working with for years, and just something to think about, because there are a handful of coaches that I work with that do focus on colon health, and I wanted you to know this. So
Well, it makes a lot of sense that they would recommend that, because their clients that are coming to them are struggling with it. They're not doing this preventively or just to maintain. They've got usually IBS, which is like constipation and IBS are the 2 number 1 complaints coming into a gastrointestinal practice. And the IBS is diarrhea, constipation, back and forth, and bloating. It's all that combined, and they just want to get it out and get you clean. The point that I wanted to make about my mother is that what I learned is that the fact that she used the Life Fiber, which is feeding the healthy bacteria, she had diarrhea before that. And now you think fiber is going to give you so much diarrhea? No, she says, I can't believe it. I'm taking fiber and my bowels are more normal the first time. So people get scared of the concept of so much fiber, balance, and this. Everybody's body is different, but your body needs fiber. It's craving fiber.
So I just want to say, I just want you all to do it. Everybody that's on the team, your task for the month of January is to get this cleanse and do a 30-day cleanse, because you can't teach it unless you know it. And if for any reason it's not something that you're comfortable with, for whatever it is, have somebody that's really important to you and close to you. Get it for them so you get that feedback. But every coach, you need to get this as part of your repertoire, okay? We're like an orchestra, and we are playing music to help people just enjoy their lives. And it takes many different types of instruments to make an orchestra sound beautiful. And if you think of our insides like instruments, to make everything work beautifully, we've got to do it all. So every product plays a role: the balance, the matcha, the complete, and the cleanse. And we wanted you to start the year with a nice, clean, healthy mindset, gut, and everything else. So what we'll do is we'll open this up for questions and unmute, stop sharing. In case anybody has any questions, you can just bring yourself out of mute.
Somebody asked if it comes with an instruction guide.
Oh boy, it comes with a lot of instructions.
Instructions, but if you are unclear or have issues, call me, text me. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I have experience with this.
The instructions don't indicate the time for the fiber or for the, it does say to take it doesn't specify the fiber to take it 30 minutes after. So I'm glad you clarified that so everybody would know.
Okay, those were the original instructions that I got 15 years ago, and I've been doing it that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
There are other questions in the chat box.
Okay.
I think it starts with, can kids take it too? I think you answered the other ones before that.
Kids, I'm not sure. All of our products, they will never say safe to take during pregnancy or safe to give to kids, because legally they can't put that on any label. Legally, they cannot do that. So what I say is that if you're using it and you want to sample a little bit for your child and a little bit just to see, I think that the life fiber would be great for a child who might get, I would, I know that there's lots of kids who drink balance and who drink complete and who have great results with that. I would be careful of the whole program for a small, young child. A teenager, absolutely. In fact, I would recommend this for teenagers with acne. It will really help clear up skin. It's really important.
Any other questions?
So I did one in August. Do I need to wait till February, like 6 months before taking it again, or does it matter?
So there are people that do it every 3 months. So
Okay.
there's no reason you have to wait. It would be great if we're all pooping together.
Barb, I do have a question.
Yes.
Okay, when I did the first cleanse, I went onto the Unicity's website and I listened to the scientist that created the cleanse product, or someone that said the reason Unicity recommends this program be 30 days long is that the body gets lazy. And apparently if you do a cleanse longer, it forgets how to go to the bathroom, that kind of a thing. So my question is, after I did the 30-day cleanse, I did have problems becoming regular again. What do you think about that?
stay on life fiber or did you go off of life fiber?
Oh, no, I've always been on life fiber
Mhm.
ever since I started.
So yes, one of the causes of constipation is overuse of laxatives. When people use laxatives every single day of their life, the bowel does get lazy. So that's true. So I tell people not to stay on the aloe every single day of their life. I, like, one of the things that we need to do to be able to go to the bathroom, unless you have, I mean, I have a couple clients that no matter what their doctor gives them, they can't go. And they say, I'm staying on the aloe. I have this one lady that calls me, I'm out of aloe, but what I think is we have to teach people to drink more water and to move more often and to eat more vegetables.
Well, I drank so much water yesterday, I lost a pound today and I was pleased. Are you saying that that one client of yours does aloe every day?
Every day. She's taken every medication her doctor's given her, and the only thing that's ever helped her is aloe.
Okay. And I thought aloe was just part of the cleanse products.
You can buy it individually.
That's separate. Yeah.
Okay.
Each product individually. You can buy them as a package. And what I like to do is once I have somebody start the cleanse, they will love the life fiber so much they'll stay on it and reorder it. And I say, if you add fiber to every meal, you know that you're going to have the pinkest, healthiest colon around because you are really getting the stuff out every single meal.
I've been having a lot of apples because I know apples help with that. So anyway, I'm thinking with this would be my second cleanse, and I'm thinking that I would probably do the aloe every other day because of the reaction I had the first time.
So you know what? Everybody's different, and that's why I mentioned it. Just pay attention to how you're feeling. If you
Okay.
feel like you're going, in a way that is not appropriate, then you'll cut back. Absolutely. And Stacy's question about, she teaches lots of classes, and she doesn't want to worry about having to go to the bathroom, in the middle of a class or whatever. I think that if you started on the weekend when you're not teaching or on a day when you're not teaching and you see how it feels, and then you can either back off or keep going and you can play it by ear. Everybody's body is different. We have to individualize our program. There's not one size fits all, but there's a lot of choices here. I remember the first time Jan did the tea, and she left the tea bag in for 2 hours. And she had just started the cleanse. She left the tea bag in for 2 hours. We were in the car on the way to the airport. I'm driving, and we're passing a Dunkin' Donuts. She says, pull into Dunkin' Donuts. I said, I'm not buying donuts. She says, no, I got to go to the bathroom. Left the tea bag in for like 2 hours. It's like...
And you're supposed to leave it in for 2 minutes, but I'm one of those people that doesn't read instructions. And I will literally drink a normal cup of tea and I drink it with the tea bag still in it. So that's what I did, what I'm used to doing. But I wanted to share a story. One of my daughter's college friends had grew up her whole life, terrible constipation all through high school. And the only reason the topic came up was I went to visit her at college. So that was about 10 years ago that I met this friend of hers, one of her roommates. And since then, she has never missed a day. She cannot live without life fiber and 1 aloe vera to go to the bathroom. And she's now 31 years old. So it's 11 years that's how long she's been using this. And so as far as interactions, your question, Nikita, about that, never have heard about any interactions. It doesn't mean it hasn't happened, but we've never heard that. And 27 years working with the company, we would hear whenever there's an interaction, we're told about it so we can educate. But the great part about our products is that nothing really interacts and there's never too much of anything. And there's no special instructions that somebody has to be concerned with this cleanse pack products when they're on other medicines. But I will tell you what my experience is with aloe vera, because I do use it. Aloe vera, like clockwork. If you want to know when you're going to make a duty, 12 hours before, take your aloe vera. So if you want to make a duty at 7 a.m., take it at 7 p.m. All I can say is that 12 hours is your dial time. So if you're teaching a class, Stacy, you want to go before you go to school, 12 hours right after you take your aloe vera, you're going to rock and roll. So.
2 more questions that were missed. Are the products listed in the PDR, and is this safe with diverticulitis?
I saw the one question that it says with diverticulosis.
Oh, losis, sorry. I just saw the diver and thought about my problems.
I don't know the answer to that question, honestly, about diverticulosis. I think that that's something that if you have diverticulosis, if you have to avoid fiber, I don't know. Usually with diverticulosis, you have to avoid seeds, or is that diverticulitis?
That's
I know.
diverticulitis.
It's actually both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
It would be both, because you have the diverticulosis is the pockets that form in the intestinal lining, and the itis is the inflammation or infection that you've got because that's been all clogged up in there.
Mhm.
So I would think that the fiber would be safe for you to take with diverticulosis, or but I would just say, obviously consult with your physician or your GI doctor about that, but I would think that the fiber would be an absolutely safe product for you to take. And I also wanted to comment about the medications. I don't think that there's going to be any contraindication or mix with the medications, although you may have to time your medications appropriately, so your medications get absorbed into your system the way they need to be.
And that's because of the fiber, I believe, Michelle. Just like when someone's using balance with their fiber, and if they're on a blood thinner or a thyroid medication, they need to take their medicine either an hour, 2 hours before or after utilizing the fiber. So it does, the meds don't get absorbed in the fiber. Is that what you're referring to?
Correct.
Thanks, that's great.
And as far as the PDR, this product package is not listed in the physician's desk reference. However, it has 27 years of history. And you can't put a price on 27 years being marketed in 40 countries. And my final comment on it is, while this product has been around as long as I have with the company, it never became evident to me until I began working with the Latin community. And what I learned is how prominent cleansing is in the Latin community. And it was always the very first product that they wanted to start their health journey with, because they were raised on this whole concept of cleansing. So when I began to work with several people that were healthcare providers in the Latin market, everybody wanted Cleanse to start. I'm like, whoa, I don't think I know enough about this. So interesting how when I began working with the company 27 years ago, this product was there. However, nobody in the US market ever mentioned it or talked about it. But all over the world, in Asia and the Latin markets, it's probably one of the top selling products. Fascinating. But now it's becoming very mainstream here, and we're seeing more and more people wanting to get knowledge on this because of the very beginning conversation you had on gut health. So I think that we've pretty much covered everything. If there is any other message, questions, now's the time. I'm recording this and I'll post it in our Coach's Corner if anybody wants to go back and reference it. Any other questions? Okay.